Hello, and welcome everyone once again to Outdoor Analytics, bringing the science behind the hunt. I'm Adam Kilgore, and this is the 2018 Bowtech Realm review. Now this review will be specifically on the Bowtech Realm. I've already covered the Realm X in a separate video, and I think it would be very beneficial and helpful if before you watch this video, even if you're interested in the Realm, you watch that video, because in that video I'm going to cover, or I did cover, a lot more of the specifics of how Bowtech got to the Realm and the generalizations about the series of bows. I was asked by several people to review the Realm itself and not the Realm X, or in addition to the Realm X, so this review is going to be shorter, and it's going to specifically cover the features of the Realm. What I like, and since no bow is perfect, a couple things I think or could be improved upon. So with that said, let's begin. So as I covered in the Realm X review, 2018, Bowtech came out with the Realm series, both this bow that you see me holding, the Realm, and the Realm X. The difference between the two bows was specifically brace height. So the Realm here has 7 1/8 inch brace height, which is quite large by 2018 standards, and the axle to axle length is different. It is just a shade over 31 on the Realm and a little bit over 33 on the Realm X. So you have brace height difference, axle to axle difference, and with the Realm X being having a shorter brace height, it has 5 feet per second more speed, ATA speed. The specs on this specific bow are 340 IBO speed on performance, around a 332, 333-ish speed on comfort. And why I say ish is because Bowtech advertises and tests their bows on the performance setting. Very rarely will you see them test their bows on the comfort setting and give a speed, which is probably wise, marketing wise, because you don't want to advertise lower speeds, even though the draw on the comfort is, to me, quite a bit better. And I guess to go off of that, so you have the performance setting and the comfort setting, this flip disc up here, just like you do on the Realm X. I cover all that in the Realm X review. But specifically to this bow, the comfort setting is where what I shoot in both bows, but in this bow, I really feel a difference when I draw and shoot this bow in comfort. It's a much, to me, preferable draw cycle. The caveat to that is I recently shot a buddy's Realm X in performance. We were just testing side by side. I'll get into that in a minute. But that bow in performance surprised me with how well it rolled over and how well it held. The valet was definitely shorter, but really it was a for the speed, the aggression of the bow, it was a very easy bow to draw and hold. So the Realm, the Bowtech Realm, as I said, 31 inches axle to axle, a very up and down straight riser. Hopefully the camera picks this up, but much more than the Rain series, the Realm has a very vertical riser. So not a lot of reflex or deflex, fairly straight, as much as you can usually make a bow, considering it has to have limbs and limb attachments and pockets and such. Very beefy, wide limbs, just like the Realm X. Same everything there. In-house carbon core limbs. In the past, there's been flaking and splitting and chipping issues with Bowtech, and I say in the past, that would be before the Rain series. They brought all the limb building in-house, and it seems to have cured all of it. Haven't seen any or heard any problems with the Rain or the Realm at all. And I trust these limbs after several Realm and Realm X's I've shot and played with. I've seen nothing but good things about these limbs. The brace height. So on a hunting bow, I look for a couple things. I look for a comfortable draw. I look for a large brace height, and I look for usable speed. So the brace height, definitely there. 7 1/8 inch brace height measured here. More brace than, like I said, than most than is common in 2018. And definitely the trend in the last few years has been to go from what was considered a fairly generic or standard 7 inches down to 6, and now it's somewhere in between there, depending on what bow. But 7 1/8 is on the upper end of, it is the upper end of what flagship bows are offering this year. I like that brace. Some people argue that a shorter brace height, you'll see people go back and forth on this, but a shorter brace height, they say, reduces launch time, meaning if the bow's faster, the string gets away faster. It's in theory more forgiving because there's less torque, so you can less affect the bow by moving it. If the shorter the amount of time the arrow is sitting here, the quicker it's off, the less torque will affect it. I think in theory there's a little truth to that, but I think, to me, more friendly or more forgiving than forgiveness in a hunting bow, you have to factor in things like heavy clothes, especially here in Iowa, late season, you're going to be wearing heavy clothes. That brace height, what that a brace height allows you to do is to have the bow at full draw and really not worry about the string hitting that heavy jacket you have on or coat and causing a little movement in the arrow. So to me, I'm still a fan, depending on what, despite what marketing says, I'm still a fan of large brace. Most bow marketing will try to mitigate brace height because they want to maximize speed ratings, and to do that you have to minimize brace height. So there's where you get the marketing hype and fluff in there, that bow companies are always going to be saying minimizing the effective brace height because they need to maximize the speed ratings of the bows, because speed sells. But I still like a heavy or a large brace height, and 7 1/8 is definitely there in the wheelhouse of what I like. Axle to axle, the Realm X, I really like the Realm X for spot and stock, for standing on the lane and shooting. I really like that extra length. In a ground blind and turkeys, in a tree stand, and some of the tree stands I have, shorter axle to axle I really like in those applications, specifically ground blind hunting, turkey hunting, and I do a lot of deer hunting now out of a blind. It helps when you're filming. If I'm filming, I like a blind because you get away with some movement, and when you're filming there's going to be movement. So I like a shorter axle to axle length. Some of the blinds I have are very nice, very tall blinds, and I could easily shoot with a 40-inch bow. Some are not. Some of the older blinds I have and some of the blinds that I'm not too particular about leaving them out for a long time, but they're decent blinds. They're shorter, they're smaller, they're older, and in that case a shorter bow does help. So I do like the shorter bows, which allows that for the ring. On both bows, the Realm X and the Realm, the aesthetics are a mixed bag to me. I liked, and I said this on the Realm X review, I liked the flowing reptilian smooth lines of the Rain series, although the blockiness and kind of the squared offness of this Realm are growing on me. One thing I'll say on a bow that has a riser that's really beefy like this riser is, you can see here, move towards the camera, how thick this part can be. Even though it's bridged, it's a thick riser. And when you get into that thick riser, what I've found is purely aesthetics. I like a camouflage pattern on the riser and not a solid riser. Now I know this is getting very Gucci with your bow and what you think looks good. But on a thick, blocky riser, which the trend in the industry is to go to those thicker risers because they absorb more vibration and they allow for a really good platform. But in those risers, a solid color seems to be almost overkill when you're looking at it. Again, purely aesthetics, but a solid color just seems, in flat dark earth, in these bows in flat dark earth or black, it's very, it just stands out. It makes a bow a Misi stand out quite a bit because of how much metal is there in one flat color. Camo patterns on these bows, any of the camo patterns on these bows, I much prefer. It seems to break it up and it makes that riser not appear as blocky or square, which to me I like. The camo on this bow and on the Realm X are a color fusion style camo application. meaning that the application is sleeved and baked on. A very, very well done camouflage pattern on these bows. This is mossy oak breakup, but whatever camo you choose, the way it's applied is very well done. Bowtech is getting very close to Elite, which if you watch my Ritual review, the Elite's the standard bearer for quality of components and of how they put the bow together, and Bowtech is getting right there with them in camo finish applications. If you look inside the bow here, inside all these cutouts and bridging, you can see a very consistent wrap of the camo, so no gaps. And you will not see that always on the Hoyts, the Matthews, and the PSEs, the way they finish their bows. Inside these cutouts, inside these little areas, you will see some stretching of the pattern, or just not pattern at all, primer underneath there or adhesive underneath there, but not the camo itself. So kudos to Bowtech. They did a really, really good job with applying this camo pattern. So camo pattern, awesome, on both the Realm and the Realm X. But on this bow specifically, the Realm, the way the camouflage, my personal favorite camo on the Realm itself is this mossy oak. It just breaks it up really well. It flows well. It's a very good looking package in my mind's eye. Just like the Realm X, the Realm, the strings on Bowtech's bows are top quality. My personal favorite factory strings are on Bowtech bows. I really like the way that the factory strings are built. They seem stable. They quickly shoot in. All factory strings require some shoot in to initially twist that peep a little bit to where you want it, but Bowtech settle quick and do well. That brace height to me makes this bow pretty forgiving, combined with the other part that makes a bow forgiving that I talked about earlier, which is the cams and the usable speed, the draw cycle. So this bow is a 340 IBO bow in performance. I much prefer the comfort draw cycle, which drops, as I said, the bow down to 330, 330, 332-ish. What you get with that decrease in speed is even in performance, the draw is very linear, meaning no humps and dumps. I've spoken to that on most of my videos. But in comfort, it feels like you're drawing less draw weight. The way that the weight, where it stacks in the draw cycle, gives a perception of less draw weight, which I like. These cams do not produce a large hump and dump, so when you draw a lot of bows that have a high let off and that really feel locked in, you draw them and there's kind of a hump that's over exaggerated, but it feels like you humped, a hump, and then it locks into place, a dump in there, and it feels like you can hold them for a very long time, which you can. But there's that at the last few inches of draw length that you have to get over. This bow in comfort does not produce that. It's just a smooth pull and there's let off. And speaking of let off, in comfort, I have found on the several Realms I've tested that the let off seems to be between 86 and 88%. Most of them about 86, 86.5% let off. From peak draw weight to what you're holding, that let off becomes right around 86, 87%. Which to me is like the very sweet spot of still having a little tension on the back where you can hold it all day. Pardon me, you can hold it all day, but it isn't quite 90 where it feels like you're holding no weight, and some people don't like that. So the draw cycle of this bow in comfort is a thing of beauty. The limb pockets, pardon me, the limb pockets on this bow, just like the Realm, excuse me, the pockets on this bow, just like the Realm X, are of the same composite material, which some people have spoke about negatively. I have not found an issue at all on either bow. They seem to lock into the riser very well, create a very stable platform, and it is a composite. It is a plastic, for a lack of a better word, but not the plastic you're thinking of. A very stiff synthetic material, and I guess in theory, it won't take a bump or a drop like a metal pocket would. but I have not had any issues with these or seen any issues or heard any issues, and I think these limb pockets will be just fine. Same with the limbs. So I've covered the, sorry, checking the time there. I've covered the length, the brace height, the speed, the specs of the Realm here. I'll do another video. I'll show another video here connected to this video of the draw cycle and me shooting the bow. But I wanted to just touch on Realm specifics, the difference between the Realm and the Realm X. And I really like this as a hunting bow. I'll probably hunt with this year, this fall. I just really like the specs of this bow, the draw cycle of this bow. Overall, it's a very, very high quality bow that I think will do very well. Just like I talked about on the Realm X, there's a little vibration on this bow, a little more than there is on the Rain series. Whether that matters to you or not, you know, once you feel that vibration, the arrow is on its way. But you will notice, if you shoot this side by side with the Rain, you'll notice a little more vibration. A quality stabilizer takes that out right away. So it doesn't worry me, but there is a little bit more. So that is one thing to consider.